All right, good morning. It's session 104 of Tool Time Tuesday. And Leslie and I decided it was time for some Zoom updates. There have been plenty of updates this year, and we just haven't caught up with all of them. So wanted to go over those now. If there's things that you've played around with or used in Zoom that you like or dislike, love to hear it in the chat, just because we're also on the team as well. It's interesting to hear different people's perspectives on these things. So I'm Larissa. My co-host is Leslie. We're from the library. You know us. You can find us if you go to Inside, type in library, or you can Google us. We're the MD Anderson Library, and we're here for you. I wanted to mention some upcoming classes that we have. I actually have this handout. This is Erwin Metter created it, full credit. It's adorable. We have plenty of classes in October. We have one on PubMed. Science CV is, the rules are changing for Science CV. This is part of the NIH BioSketches. So we're going to have a class on that coming up on October 8th. Literature Search Basics, EndNote 21. We have a Dear Editor coming up on your favorite tips for working in Word, and one on H indexes and author metrics. So if you track faculty publications, that one might be of interest to you. Or if you are faculty and you want to know more about tracking your publications, the H index and author metrics class will be good. These are all on the events calendar on Inside. So you can find them there, but you can also find them on the library's website under the library calendar. Yeah, it's finally spooky season, so we can start showing spooky graphics. My favorite season. So we're going to do some Zoom updates, some things that we've seen. So the first thing we want to remind you is how to update your Zoom app. We've said this before, but if we're not on the same version of Zoom, we don't get to use all the great features. So you want to update your Zoom app every once in a while. You can find your Zoom app from the start menu on your computer, on your desktop. And when you open the Zoom app, you can click on your little avatar in the upper right-hand corner, and you can check for updates. The updates just run, and it'll reboot your Zoom. So don't update Zoom now, or you'll get kicked out of Zoom. Don't update Zoom when you're in a Zoom meeting, just maybe early in the morning or the last thing in the day. You can check and see if there's updates. One thing that changed that tripped a few people up was that it's now called Zoom Workplace. I'm not sure why they rebranded it as Zoom Workplace, but just to let you know, it is called Workplace. You're in the right place if you're at the Zoom Workplace instead of Zoom meetings. So we also want to mention that you should update your Zoom profile. So this is a really important part of allowing people to track your attendance in Zoom sessions, is that your profile is up to date. You can update your profile from the Zoom app, but you can also go to mdacc.zoom.us. When you select profile, you can add a photo if you want. You don't have to. You can add your full name and how you want your name to display when you enter into a Zoom. This just helps us track attendance. So if you want to make sure that, your manager knows you showed up, this is how it shows up in the Zoom report, that your full name is there. It also helps verify that you're an MD Anderson employee, and it allows you to bypass waiting rooms. So it just makes you legit. You're a real Zoom MD Anderson person. So don't forget to update your profile. One thing they've added to the profile is you can go under your profile page. You can describe how to pronounce your name using the name phonetics. So if people mispronounce your name a lot, you can describe how to say your name here, which is a nice addition, because I'm sure, my name gets mispronounced a lot, but I'm sure other people have that experience as well. And it can be kind of annoying. So that's just an additional thing in the profile. Okay, so there's also a new addition in the Zoom app, and that is the calendar. This is a brand new thing that Leslie noticed on the last download or the last update. Your Zoom calendars has its own tab now. I've blanked mine out here so you can't see what I'm doing. Not that it's that top secret, but for privacy, there's a calendar tab. So your Outlook calendar feeds into here. This includes your Zoom meetings, but also other things that are on your Outlook calendar. If you want to make sure that it's syncing really well, you can go to the Zoom website, and I'm going to share this with you. You can also always go to that mdacc.zoom.us site, log in, and you want to just toggle on the option to automatically sync your Zoom calendar events information bidirectionally. So just sync everything between your Zoom calendars. So that's an extra setting you can set there. So you can see what you're doing today right here, which is really nice. Just a nice little addition there. Just one more thing about the app. If you don't use the app much, you might try it out a little bit. You can call people on the Zoom app. You can do a team chat on the Zoom app, or you can, Leslie and I chat each other on Zoom during the day. It's really smooth, really easy to use. The other nice thing is I have it on my phone. I'm not suggesting you work when you're not at work, but if I need to, I can check my phone and see if somebody's chatted me on there through the Zoom app as well, which is kind of nice. So if I'm like on the go at work and I'm walking between buildings or meetings, I can check my Zoom app and see if someone's chatted me. Of course, you can do that on Microsoft Teams as well, but just if you haven't used the Zoom app much, maybe give it a try, see what you think. The other thing that's been added to Zoom is a new view. It's called the multi-speaker view. This is a view that you can change yourself. You have the option to turn on that multi-speaker view. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you should see that little view option. So what it does is it highlights people who are actively speaking in the meeting, which may not work this time because my video is not working today, but it automatically adapts the video layout to feature those participants. So if you want to try it out, when you're in a Zoom meeting, you can change the view to whatever's most comfortable to you by going to that view tab. It doesn't change anyone else's view, just yours. The other thing you can do in here, just as a reminder, is you can hide your self view. So if you are looking at yourself all day and thinking, oh my gosh, why does my hair look like that? Or whatever it is, sometimes it helps to hide your self view just so you're not distracted. I do that sometimes. I don't know what it is about seeing your own video that makes you want to look at it. But anyway, you have control of your own view. You can make changes to it. You can also add a wallpaper. You can set your wallpaper as a host for a meeting. So hosts and co-hosts can change the meeting wallpaper under view, and you'll see that it says set meeting wallpaper. If the host hasn't set one, individuals can change their own theme when a wallpaper to whatever they want it to be. There's some default ones here. They're pretty cute. So if you need to mix it up and change your theme here, you can. I guess I could change the theme just to show. I'm going to set a meeting wallpaper here. I wish they had a spooky one. I'm trying to pick one that's not too distracting. There we go. So it's just adds a little pizzazz to it. We could be underwater if we want to be underwater. And go for
Someone
something.
said, if you are hosting, recording, and hiding self-view, your image doesn't appear in the recording.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that if you hide your self-view that your image doesn't appear. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
And someone asked, is this Zoom or Teams? This is Zoom.
Everything we're talking about today is for Zoom. We probably should get Anna to come do a Teams, like what's new in Teams update soon. Or we can work with her to do one as well. Okay.
Yes, you should have seen a change to the wallpaper.
Yes. So if your app isn't up to date, then you might not have seen the change to wallpaper. So don't forget, after we're done here, or when you get a break in your day, you can update your Zoom app. That's one of the reasons we encourage you to update the Zoom app is that you don't get to take advantage of all the features if you don't update it. That's a very good reminder. So the other thing is the Zoom chat now has rich text formatting. So used to, you could type a message in and that was about it. But they've added this cute little icon. It's a little T for text and a pencil. When you click on that, it gives you these options to bold some text, to italicize, to underline. They have a strike through if you want to get real advanced here. You can highlight some specific text. You can change the font size of the text. And you can also create a special link in here as well. So when you click on the link, it allows you to put in a long link in there and type out what the link is. Like, this is a link to Microsoft Teams, instead of just having a 1,000,000-character link posted into the chat. So you might check that out with the chat. Feel free to play around with it if you have it. It just gives you a little bit more functionality in the chat. Also wanted to mention in the chat, I'm going to say it, Leslie, even though it's not your favorite. The chat has added a couple of things that also Microsoft Word has done. If you type in happy birthday in the chat or congratulations, it bombards your chat with little emojis. So if anyone wants to try, happy birthday or congratulations. I think happy anniversary was the other one.
It's happy anniversary, not congratulations.
I thought congratulations did it too. Somebody
Only
congratulate
happy anniversary
somebody.
and happy birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, see? And now it's raining emojis.
Yeah. So we were in a meeting the other day and it was somebody's birthday and it was just intense amount of emojis coming down, just to let you know. Also, when you react at the bottom of the screen, your reaction shows across your video as well. So just keep that in mind. I guess I could show you this real quick. My video's not working, but when I react, if I do, I don't know, I'm going to see if I can do balloons. The balloons pop up over the top of my photo. So just an additional kind of fun thing you can do if you want. Got to keep it fun, right? So the other thing that Zoom has added, last time we did a Zoom update, we mentioned that they added a notes section in Zoom. So notes that you can take during the Zoom meeting. They've also added something called a documents section. You can get to this from a Zoom meeting, but I think it's more effective at the mdacc.zoom.us. What I think they're trying to do with the Zoom documents is create something similar to Google Docs or Word and OneDrive. They want you to have a cloud-based document creation tool. So I'm not sure how super helpful this is going to be for everyone, but just to let you know, you can create documents. In the documents section, you can upload things like Excel spreadsheets or Word documents, and they transfer into the Zoom format. You can share documents that way. They do have some templates. So I think the best way that documents or notes could be of use is for note-taking for meetings. And they have lots of the basic formatting features in them, similar to when you're working into Word or Google Docs. It's a little bit more like Google Docs, I would say. So during a meeting, you can access or share your documents under the Docs icon, and you can import other files when you're working online. If I were to share a doc with y'all, I'm not going to do this right now. It would take over the screen. So I can't really share a PowerPoint and a document at the same time. I could share a link to a document with you guys, though. Okay. Thanks, Erica, for the overstimulation. So if you take notes for the meeting, you can share them with everyone from the whole meeting as well. I believe so. Yes, there's a share notes options when I go to notes. I think too, just to keep in mind, we don't have all the features of Zoom because there are some security concerns, but eventually there will be an AI note-taking option in here. So I'm guessing the notes will go with that, but we don't have that option yet.
But we have two questions. Is it true that MD Anderson will eventually stop using Zoom and we're supposed to use Teams? And I have not heard that. I do know Skype is being replaced by Teams.
Yes.
And the other question, did you answer about the whiteboard? Can you share the whiteboard for the meeting?
Yes, you can share a whiteboard from the meeting as well. So my best thing to say is the notes are stored then at that mdacc.zoom.us website. Let me see if I could show it to you. So for many years now, I've heard, is Zoom going away? Is Zoom going away? I don't know. I have not actually heard that from any authority. It's just a rumor. What we do know is that Skype is going away because Microsoft is going to drop Skype, or it kind of already has, as far as I'm aware. And they're moving to Teams based for all phone calls will be on Teams. So you may notice that you're invited to more Teams meetings or get chats through Teams, and that's because that's where that's going.
There is no deadline right now for when Skype is going away.
Yeah, no idea what the deadline is. I think it's going to be a huge endeavor to do that, but it's not something that I will be in charge of. So when I go into my Zoom, you'll notice that there's a notes section here. So your notes will go in here for you to be able to share and use again. And your documents are here as well. So another thing someone said, oddly enough, the default meeting and Outlook calendar is Skype. Yes, you can change that if you want the default to be something else, and we can share those instructions as well. But yes, it is Skype. Sometimes it's Teams for some people. So we wanted to talk about sound again. So you can share sound during a meeting, and this has always tripped a couple people up. But when you go to share, they've just moved the option to the right. It used to be at the bottom of Zoom. But when you go to share your screen, you would select your screen. So let's say we were going to share a YouTube video, and you just need to check the box that says share sound. You'll notice that there's additional options for mono and stereo. The default is mono. Mono plays the sound in both ears, so just leave it at the default. Just wanted to mention it. There's also an option to optimize for video that you can check as well if you're playing a video and not just sound. So if you were going to share sound, this has happened to all of us. We've been in a meeting where someone played a video, the sound didn't play. You have to check the share sound option. Also, under that same setting, you can change the layout of your video. So you can have yourself float in front of your screen in different ways, essentially. So if you want to be in front of the presentation, you can change the layout there when you go to share. If you are sharing and you need to make changes, you can make changes. So when you share your screen, you see this little bar pop up and it says stop share, because in this case, I was sharing. There's a green little box here. This box previews what I was sharing at that time. From here, I can hover over it and click on the pencil icon, and I can change my sharing options. So if I forgot to share my video, I can just hover over the little green box, click on the pencil icon, and I can check the box that says share sound. So basically, I can make edits quickly from my share meeting toolbar. Just click on the little pencil here and I can share. But also, it's a nice thing that you can see what you're sharing here. So if you are sharing and you're nervous that you're not sharing what you think you're sharing, you can pop open that screen and you can see what you're sharing. When I first started doing online classes like 10 plus years ago, I would have like a separate screen up, like a separate laptop up so I could see what I was sharing because I was so paranoid about it. This is nice that you can actually see what your screen sharing. Okay. So here's a few other bonus tips. Have I missed any questions so far?
Nope, not so far.
Okay. So a couple bonus tips for Zoom. You can now share a screenshot. So if you are in a meeting and you want to share a screenshot real quick of something, there is this cute little screenshot icon down here with the plus sign. So when you go to that chat window, you can click on the screenshot icon and you can grab a section of your screen. It'll automatically put that image in your chat box so you can send it to the group. So that's one option, is to share a screenshot. Of course, you can share a full document as well. What we did learn is sometimes when people share documents or images in the chat, if you can't open them well, it may be that you need to reset your default apps. So if you remember, you can go to your start menu on your computer and you can search for default apps and make sure it's opening in the default app that you want it to, like Adobe or an image viewer or something like that. So if you have a hard time seeing images in a Zoom chat box, you may need to just set your default apps. Okay.
We have a couple of questions, but if you'll want to go through the bonus ones, we can answer the questions.
Okay. Got it.
Because these are slightly complicated.
So another thing is when you're hosting the meeting, you can control the chat a little bit. And we just want to remind you of this. If the chat's getting out of hand, it does get out of hand. I know that sounds crazy. Or if you just want to make sure it's not like distracting people, you can change in the chat window by clicking on the ... to who can chat. Like we can chat everyone, or we can just chat hosts and co-hosts or no one. That may seem unfriendly, but if you had a big speaker, if for instance, I mean, I'm just trying to think of a good example, or people are just really getting off topic, you could change the chat to say, okay, they can chat with us as hosts and co-hosts, but not everyone. It's just an option to remember. Another way to control the room is to open your participants channel, and you can change a few of the settings with the ... We're still hearing people who have that doorbell sound when you enter a room. You can uncheck the play sound when someone joins or leaves. And this will keep that doorbell sound from sounding. You can also mute participants upon entry. This is just to keep the room a little calmer. That may not bother everybody to hear a lot of noises, but for myself, it's super distracting and I can't focus if I'm hearing lots of doorbell noises or people just talking in the background. So you might just remember that from your participants window as a host or a co-host, you can make changes from the ...
I'd like to make the analogy that if you come into a Zoom meeting with your mute off, like your sound on, it's basically like you're talking on a cell phone really loud, walking into a meeting where like maybe Dr. Fisters is presenting. We don't do that. You make an effort in person to not come into a meeting talking generally.
As you can tell, Leslie and I are librarians and we like to shush people a lot.
I will say this is a meeting pet peeve, and this is a personal thing for me. So
okay. Don't forget also you can change your global settings, and these settings do change on occasion. So Leslie and I try to look at them for you and tell you what's changed, just like the one with the Zoom calendar earlier. But if you want to check out your Zoom settings, you can go to that mdacc.zoom.us. Under meetings, a couple of the common settings that we would recommend is you can automatically just set that you're going to mute everyone when they enter your meeting, which is what I have set. I want people to be able to choose. I don't want anyone to accidentally embarrass themselves either. We've all seen that happen where they come in and they're talking to someone else and they don't hear that they're being disruptive. So you can just mute all participants when they join from your global settings, and that will set for all your meetings moving forward. You can also mute that sound notification when someone joins or leaves, so the doorbell sound will turn off. You can make that a global setting as well. Okay. So what other questions did we have, Leslie?
Okay, so we had 3 questions. 2 are connected to each other. So the first question is there a way to turn off automatic Zoom setups whenever I take an email and I want to set up a calendar invite for in person? The Zoom automatically sets up a link and I have to cancel it every time. This is fascinating because I don't remember that you can do this any longer. This might be in the old Outlook.
I believe that you can.
Okay.
We have instructions for this on the team. I have to find them, but I will find them and share them with you on how to turn that off so it's not automatically setting a meeting. What we also see sometimes is that people are putting in more than one type of meeting, like they'll have a Teams meeting and a Zoom meeting, and then half the people are in one meeting and half the people are in another. And so you can set your default to change. So I'll have to find it on the team.
Okay, so there's two questions that are related, which is, when you connect your calendar within Workplace, do you select Office 365 as a service? And the other question was, could you walk through the steps of connecting a calendar to Zoom Workplace? And honestly, it has been so long since I connected my calendar. I can't remember exactly what I did.
I don't really remember either.
It's in the global settings. I just don't remember exactly how I did this.
We can look it up and try to find it for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think it was Office 365 as a service. I feel like that's what it was, but I'm kind of guessing.
Yeah. So there was another question, where to find the synchronize button to connect the Zoom calendar to the Outlook calendar. And again, that's in the global settings. So MDACC
.zoom.us.
and then you go to the settings, and then there should be a calendar option in the settings.
Went to the wrong one.
Settings is down near the bottom.
I know they've added so many links on the side. It's like overwhelming to me.
And they're not alphabetical. If they were alphabetical, they would be easier. So
and then we
calendars
can do
like the, yeah.
So if you type in the search box, you can find it and just toggle on the automatically sync your Zoom calendar. I did have to reboot my computer to see the calendar.
There's also a thing where you have to connect the two. So I don't know if you need to scroll through the list. There should be a place somewhere in here that tells you to connect your.
We'll find it and share it.
We'll find it and give you the instructions.
Yes.
What is the enable additional data center regions for this meeting? Oh, that
I don't do that
with the Zoom data centers. You shouldn't have to change any of those settings for the data centers. It basically says what Zoom data centers are allowed to connect to your meetings. I think that's what that is.
I'm trying to find the any other questions?
Yes. Can the doorbell sound be muted once Zoom is started, or do you have to do it under the settings? No, you can turn the doorbell sound off. If your meeting starts and you're like, why is that doorbell going off? You can click on the ... in the participants pane, and you can uncheck that box. The thing to know is that if you are a host or a co-host, everybody has to turn that off for that meeting.
I'm going to have to find this one too, because I can't find it right now.
Is it better to schedule Zoom meetings through Outlook or through mdacc.zoom.us? That's a personal preference. I like scheduling through Outlook because I create the meeting, I fill all the meeting information out, then I tell Outlook to create the Zoom meeting.
Someone said, do participants have the option of muting other participants? No, only the host and the co-host can mute people. Someone else showed a screenshot of the connect to the calendar.
And someone said, I have a connect to calendar button. And yeah, there is something that you have to connect the two. Question, sometimes when I schedule or cancel a meeting, they don't talk to each other. Yeah, that not talking to each other thing, that's that toggle for doing the bi-directional Zoom and integrated calendars box. That toggle button, I mean. Alphabetical, said like a librarian. Yes. What am I, a librarian? Someone sent the link to using calendar and contacts integration. Thank you so much, Catherine.
I would not allow other data centers unless you talk to someone in ForInfo, because, you know, there is a security issue of who we let in. And I would make sure you talk to ForInfo first to see what that's for. I've never had a trouble with anyone entering one. I did see one person said I had an external attendee that was not able to connect, but that could be for a million different reasons. And it could be their connectivity. It could be that they didn't have the, I mean, it could be a lot of things.
Yep. So, can you show again how to update Zoom? We can't, do you
I
actually
think,
have your Zoom?
yes. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to hit update because
Yeah.
it'll end everything for us, but you just go to your little avatar. This is the Zoom
Hold
app.
on, your avatar just disappeared again.
Oh, can you see it?
It went back to your meeting.
Oh.
Like my screen, my face is up on the screen now.
Oh, hold on. What did I do? Now?
There we go. Yes.
Okay. This is your Zoom app. And so this is what I was talking about, that you can have your calendar in your home, and there's additional things here like your docs and your whiteboards and your notes. So you can work from this, but if you go to your drop down, I have my photo attached. You may not, you may just have initials. You just check for updates and that will update your Zoom app. You can also go to settings here, but it will take you to that online account that we've been talking about.
I get ghost notifications for Zoom meetings that I canceled or removed. How do I stop those notifications? Again, that's that thing where if you turn on the bidirectional syncing in the settings, you should, like, if you've canceled it, what you should get is, if you cancel it in Outlook, you should get a notification that says Zoom has canceled that meeting. Or when it moves, it'll get the appropriate information. Can you create webinars in the app? Oh,
I don't believe so. I think you have to go to the Zoom settings to create a webinar.
the actual Zoom site.
Yes, the Zoom site to create a webinar.
Okay.
Okay.
I have a question, Larissa.
Sure.
So I know you just spoke on the cancellation of meetings.
Mhm.
I don't think I clearly understood. I heard it. My computer is messing up today. But I'll cancel a meeting in Outlook that has a Zoom, and then it'll cancel it there, but I don't get the notification that it has canceled it in the Zoom app. And sometimes I still get that notification when the time of the meeting was supposed to occur from the Zoom, and I've had people join meetings that was canceled because of that. Can you explain again, how do we make sure that doesn't happen?
So Leslie, you're thinking it's the setting of the automatically.
Yes, I
So
think it's that one setting about that one right there. Automatically sync Zoom calendar events bi-directionally.
So this is not universally set for us, but we believe if you go to your Zoom settings and you type in calendar and you toggle this on, it should sync across your calendar better. But we can't promise that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've heard other people say that though, but
Yes.
give it a shot and let us know if you're still having trouble, or maybe we can talk to the Zoom people about what's happening.
Okay, thanks.